From worst to best, let's rank the 12 Spider-Verse minifigure series figures. This is especially hard since every minifigure in this series is kind of awesome. My least favorite of the batch is Web-Slinger. Again, very good minifigure. My only problems are that we don't have that emblem on the hat from the movie, and I think they really botched the Spider Horse. This is so undersized compared to the movie where you can't even have a minifigure properly ride this. And I get it, you can't fit a whole horse piece into one of these blind boxes, but I wish there was some other solution, maybe a new size for the horse or something, because using the existing foul piece just doesn't work here. With that being said, I still love the printed Spider-Man mask on that horse. Now, my second least favorite minifigure of this series is the Miles Morales Earth 1610 minifigure, which is an interesting case because I don't even know if I would change much with this if I was in charge of this series. What LEGO did here was give us a different version of the Miles Morales we got in the Miles Morales for Spot set from earlier this year. They kept the base torso and face print, but added this electric current design to exemplify his power, which is an interesting variant so that you could have that power being shown with the existing version if you want to do like a stop motion or just a specific scene. However, there's a difference where now we have leg printing, which is a great upgrade from the original, something that was missing, and it's cool that that doesn't have electric currents over it so that you could just plop that onto the original version. However, it kind of makes me wish the original version had arm printing, because this one does have arm printing, but none of it is relevant to the suit, and it just has more of that electric current. I kind of wish they gave us dual molded arms that were new to these figures, at least with one of these or both of them, so that we could have the design that's kind of shown on the side of the suit with the color difference on the arms, but it's a small nitpick. And then the other downside would be for a figure that's similar to one from another set. It's kind of lame that we just get this regular spider as an accessory, something that we've seen in many sets in this color before. You could even have some printing on it and it would have made sense for this movie. Oh, and the one from earlier this year already had a fantastic new hairpiece and face printing that was so much better than what they did for the Gwen minifigure. Continuing those designs over to this CMF makes this one less exciting, but at the very least, you still get a new facial expression, and I guess that's the cheapest way that you could get that hairpiece. And my third least favorite minifigure would be Werewolf Spider-Man. But I feel like the design of this doesn't capture the fluff underneath the mouth area that the design from the movie has, because LEGO was pigeonholed to using the existing werewolf headpiece, the one that they've used for other CMFs before, and I kind of wish they just made a new headpiece altogether. The other annoying thing is that this minifigure gets no accessory whatsoever, which feels very cheap from LEGO, especially if you're reusing this existing headpiece that feels like it's restricting the character's design just a bit. I don't know. I mean, like, they don't even give him claws. I don't know if they didn't want to get this mixed up with Wolverine's claws. That would have been better. Like, we've seen werewolf claws from LEGO. But yeah, I love the printing on that head. I love the tears and printing on the outfit. Then number 9 out of the 12 for me would be Cyborg Spider-Woman. Incredible new design for that neck slash shoulder piece. And I love the printing on this figure all around. But I do feel like part of this character is missing from not making it as bulky as the movie. We saw a similar thing happen with the Thing minifigure from the recent LEGO Fantastic Four set. I kind of wish these two minifigures used some similar new upgraded body, or something close to, say, the Axel minifigure from Nexonites, to capture the bulk of those characters from the movie. Also, I feel like they kind of went a downgrade with the design of the blaster, where that thing was a Gatling gun in the movie, and this just looks pathetic in comparison. Now we're getting to the figures where I'm really going to be splitting hairs here. I'm so happy we're getting a Spider-Man 2099 in a good set this time, and not one that's not on store shelves at the moment. This design is an upgrade from the original. I love the printing, I love the cape. However, I feel like the statuette for Lila, the AI assistant, is just a bit too limited for what's going on here, and it's kind of hard to tell that it's hers. I see that they have the hair printed, which doesn't completely work. I mean, look, we have designs of that statuette piece that actually have different molding from the Star Wars line. And for a minifigure with no new pieces whatsoever, you could have went that extra mile instead of having to print the hair. I think the minifigure looks great unmasked, and his hairpiece works better than the next character's hairpiece. If I had to put biases on how much I love the characters, Peter B. Parker would probably be my favorite minifigure of the series, tied with Gwen, because I love those two characters from the Spider-Verse movies, and I think LEGO did a great job capturing this character. However, if I want to nitpick and be more fair in judging all these minifigures, I would say that the hairpiece they use, which is a very common hairpiece, doesn't feel 100% one-to-one with the design from the movies, and I kind of wish they just made a new hairpiece for this minifigure. Additionally, I kind of wish that those slippers a little bit more justice because it just looks like he has regular shoes on. And I guess since this is specifically for Across the Spider-Verse and you don't really see his suit in this movie, there's no suit alternative, which most minifigures in this series have. And hey, it's based off of Across the Spider-Verse, so he doesn't really use the suit in this movie. The design of Spider-Byte is awesome. I love the translucent coloring they use for the arms and the legs, as well as this interesting new headset with hair combination, which you do get a hair piece that's a new color for this existing piece, which fits the character perfectly. My only problem would be that the torso isn't translucent, which I've heard many conflicting things about why LEGO doesn't make translucent torsos. I mean, we saw them skip it with LEGO Chima as well. One thing I've heard, which is probably why, is apparently the material for translucent pieces just cracks easily and things like that, so it would actually damage the torso. I don't know how reliable that is though. Anyways, her computer screen accessory is perfect as well. I really enjoy the design of Sun-Spider. I mean, having that orange coloring mixed with the traditional Spider-Man outfit just works in such an interesting way. And I also love the introduction of that backwards cap piece. Now we do have a great one, but that has hair on it. So it's cool to get one without hair that still makes for a great backwards cap design. And then there's also this great piece, which I love seeing in a cheap set and in a new color. The only problems would be that, first off, we haven't seen this character unmasked in the movie, and because of that, there's no alternate unmasked version like a lot of the other characters. So I just think that makes them a little bit less desirable than the next four. And then there's also a weird interpretation for the legs right there, where I kind of wish they had side leg printing going on. I mean, look, I know dual molded legs weren't possible here, but we've seen side leg printing with, pants at the top and shoes at the bottom, and I think they could have pulled it off here, but it's just something that LEGO doesn't seem to do as much unless it's a dual molded leg piece nowadays. Now the quality for the 360-degree video is grainy, but you could also notice how Sun-Spider has some printing at the back of the hat, which again was missing for a character like Web-Slinger. Yeah, this top four was the hardest badge to really get down and critique. Okay. Miles Morales' Prowler, we now know that that mask piece is one that attaches at the neck, and it's a separate piece from the hair. So that's really interesting. Love those two new pieces for the hair and for the mask. The outfit looks perfect as well. My only problems would be the gauntlet pieces being used again, which LEGO loves to use, especially with these Marvel figures, where it just doesn't represent any of the things they're going for. And I think it does a really bad job representing the claws from the movie. Thankfully, there is a piece that can be used to represent those claws from the movie. And then there's Gwen, who's just like an insane improvement from the figure back in January. I mean, it's insane. Compare these two. It is insane. The new hairpiece is lovely. The new face print is spot on. The dual molded legs with elaborate printing. The printed arms. I friggin' love this minifigure so much. Even the printing on the mask is different, which I did not notice at first, and it's more accurate to the movie. The only reason this is number 3 is because the next two characters we haven't gotten before, and they're the same level of detail that's just blowing my mind. And that would be Spider-Man India, which is a 10 out of 10 minifigure. I mean, I love everything about how they interpreted the outfit from the movie and this minifigure. I love the alternate face underneath. The new hair piece altogether is something that's going to be so usable across different minifigures. And then you have two accessories. Yes, the teacup is something we've seen before, or should I say the chai cup. And then the design of the cat is the one that we saw earlier this year, but with the Spider-Man mask printing, the LEGO did skimp out and not give us printing for the suit for Spider-Cat. Okay, it's not as egregious as the downsizing of the horse. But that little inaccuracy and the fact that there's two new pieces for this minifigure. Might be why I like Hobie's figure, Spider-Punk, a little bit more than Spider-Man India, and he is, in my opinion, the best figure of the series. Those new pieces are this metal mohawk right here, which works with the masked version. That's phenomenal. And then this elaborate hairpiece, which works with the unmasked version. And both of these designs look perfect. Again, incredible dual molded legs and torso printing. Seriously, the leg printing is some of the best of the year, and even the arm printing is great. The printing on the guitar is freaking phenomenal as well. Oh, and like most of the minifigures in this series, there's some nice back torso printing. I don't know, just one of my favorite minifigures of the year, which I could say about so many minifigures from this series. I love this series. Some of my friends said that the other Marvel series are better, but I think this is my favorite Marvel series. I do have a bias where I just love the Spider-Verse movies, especially the second one. I mean, that's some of my favorite superhero content from the past couple years, where it seems like so much of the superhero content just blends together, but these movies are very distinguished. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Am I too hard on these figures in sake of a ranking? Because I feel I am. And it was really hard, like I said, to split hairs on which of these minifigures are the best and what order to put them in. Let me know your rankings in the comments below. Subscribe here for more LEGO news and commentary and honest LEGO takes. Seriously, you subscribing, commenting, and liking helps so much against the ridiculous algorithm of YouTube. I'll see you later. Peace out. Bye.